I will now call to order the regular meeting of the Texas Board of Trustees of the Texas Southwest College District. Trustees present, Mr. J.J. De Leon, Ms. Alejandra Aldrete, Mr. Ruben Herrera, Dr. Tony Zavaleta, Ms. Eva Alejandro, Ms. Delia Sainz, myself, and also President Dr. Jesus Roberto Rodriguez. And I'll call on Dr. Zavaleta for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag, pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Public comments, do we have anybody? Thank you. Now we will go to the president's report that everybody's waiting for. We're looking forward to your report, sir, and I'm gonna make a suggestion that you get done with your report and the board members write your questions, and then everybody will have a turn to ask your questions. Will that work?
I don't understand.
He's gonna finish his report. Will you write your questions down? And when he gets done, I'll give you time and everybody else to ask questions.
Perfect.
All right, thank you, Madam Chair. Board Trustees, since we last met, we have kicked off a new academic year and are now in the 5th week of this semester. We welcome back faculty and staff during convocation on August 21st. Our guest speaker was Kevin Tutt, provided an inspirational message about the collective impact we have had as individuals. We met at the Jacob Brown Auditorium. Approximately 250 employees attended the fall kickoff. It was a high-energy event, and as you will see in the monthly reel, we had a great engagement by faculty and staff. Thank you, Madam Chair and Trustee Sainz, for your participation in the event. The following week, we welcome our Scorpions to a new academic year. The Student Life Department coordinated an exciting array of activities for students, such as the Waffle Wednesday, a scavenger hunt, and a pep rally on our first Friday of the semester. They also held the first ever Scorpion Sting event with 500 students and their families participating in the several fun activities and learning about the different programs and clubs on campus. If you were there, you might have even heard my singing debut with my very own Avi. We had a great time. As of today, our fall 2023 enrollment stands at 8,193 students, representing a 7.1 increase over the fall 22 semester. So we're moving in the right direction. Now, we continue to strengthen our partnership in the community. This month, we took part in a number of community events. First, Madam Chair and I attended the groundbreaking for the historic El Jardín Hotel on August 31st. The 1927 landmark will soon be the new home of more than 40 affordable housing units, as well as some commercial space. We look forward to the grand opening, slated to be March of 2025, and service their residents. Dr. Stella Garcia served as a panelist for the Greater Brownsville Incentive Corporation Rally in the Valley Conference. The event was held September 14th at the Brownsville Events Center. The networking event was designed to connect local high school students with internship opportunities, potential career path, and engagement with industry. I thank Dr. Garcia for sharing all the great things that are happening at TSC at this important event. Next, our 21st Century Learning Center students performed at the Border Patrol Change of Command Center ceremony on Friday, September 15 at the Harlingen Performing Arts Center. The Porter High School Conjunto La Leyenda welcomed Jose L. Garza as the new patrol agent in charge of the Harlingen Station, Rio Grande Valley sector. We are very proud of our 21st Century Grant Program, administered by Dr. Precy Tipton, for maintaining such strong connections with our communities. Later that evening, we hosted the Mexican Consulate's El Grito de Independencia at the TSC Performing Arts Center. It was a lively event filled with traditional music and dancing. Thank you to Secretary Aldrete for participating and representing TSC at this event. Also taking place that evening was our criminal justice cadets participated in the Rancho Viejo's National Night Out. We were honored to be invited by Rancho Viejo Police Department Chief of Police Robert Tyler, Our cadets benefited by receiving community service hours for this participation, and it is also a great opportunity to recruit for our next cohort. Over the past month, we have engaged in a number of activities with our secondary school partners. Our Office of Transition Services hosted a dual credit symposium on Tuesday, September the 19th, at the Oliveira Student Service Center. We had a great turnout as principals and counselors gathered for the morning of professional development. Sessions were provided on registration, course requests, requesting recruiter visits, and a number of important administrative functions. These sessions are an excellent way to stay connected to our partners as our dual credit programs continues to grow. In fact, our last few months, we have welcomed 6 new school partners, bringing us to a total of 21 school districts, charter schools, and private schools. I would like to thank Madam Chair for participating in the event and offer my congratulations to Mrs. Vanessa Vasquez, Interim AVP of Student Services, and her entire team for leading a very successful symposium. In addition to our dual credit symposium over the last month, we've hosted several one-on-one visits with school partners. We met with La Sara School District Superintendent Alejo Salazar on August 29th. Our discussions included an exploration of career and technical education program offerings that will be a good fit for the community, and we look forward to ongoing discussions about how to enhance service at the La Sara School District. Next, Dr. Garcia and our dual credit team met with the officials of Harmony Schools on September the 20th. They've enjoyed the tour of our campus and the opportunity to meet with members of our administrative, instruction, and our dual credit team. Earlier, I mentioned the Fun Field Welcome Week the Student Service team coordinated. Their students' engagement events continued throughout the semester. During the month of September, we have hosted a nice variety of events, including the Dunk for Donuts, the Club and Resources, Employer Connection Kickoff, the National Day of Service and Remembrance, Piñata and the Paseo, and Constitution Day. Next, there are several employees I would like to recognize for providing important services in their respected fields. First, Ms. Maricela Nava, Director of TSC Child Care Center, has been appointed to the Texas Early Learning Council by Governor Greg Abbott. The organization serves as a Texas State Advisory Council on early childhood education and care. Their goal is to improve school readiness. We are very proud of Ms. Nava's appointment and know that she will be a great asset to the council. Next, 2 of our administrative leaders are serving on committees for the Southern Association of Colleges and Schools Commission on Colleges, better known as SACCOC. Vice President of Finance and Administration, Dr. Gisela Figueroa, is serving as a member of the Finance Committee on the 5th-year interim reports. AVP of Institutional Effectiveness and Educational Technologies, Oscar Hernandez, is serving as a member of Institutional Effectiveness Substantive Change Committee. Thank you both for serving to the higher education community. Now, this semester ushered in our inaugural year in the NJCAA League. We started the season off strong with both our men's and women's team winning against Trinity College. I'll tell you, the competition in the NJC is tough, but we are holding strong. Our men's team is now 2-3, and the women's team is 2-4. Remember, this is the first season our athletes are playing together as a team, and from what I can see, they are starting to gel. Our next home game is Tuesday, October the 3rd versus Angelina College. We'll be giving some pretty nice giveaways and swag, so be sure you come early to get your free swags. The women play at 2:30 p.m. and the men play at 4:30 p.m. I want to thank the Board of Trustees for your enthusiastic support and for attending the scrimmages, the Meet the Scorpions event, the pep rally, the Scorpion Family Day, and of course, our exciting home matches. Thank you, Chair Garza, Secretary Aldrete, Trustee Alejandro, and Trustee Sainz for coming out to cheer our Scorpions. In other sports news, it is time to mark your calendar for the 3rd annual Scorpion Classic Golf Tournament, which will be held October the 14th. It will be a day of fun and fundraising. A limited number of sponsorships are still available, and there's space for a few more teams. Dr. Stella Garcia is available to connect with any potential sponsors you may have. Our thanks go out to the Texas Southmost College Foundation Board and the Golfing Committee for their hard work in organizing the event. Earlier today, the Brownsville Night Lions Club stopped by our office to present a donation of $2,000 for Student Scholarship Fund. We appreciate their investment in our TSC students, and thank you, Madam Chair, for your support in receiving the check today. At this point, I would like to run the monthly video highlighting the activities that have occurred since we last met. Can you please roll the video?
show them how to play Scorpion Strong.
TSC, their first game in the season. Looking to center that. Texas Southmost with a shot. It gets through. Texas Southmost College.
Hey guys, I want to see y'all here in the stands next game. Let's go Scorpions!
Check us out in our next game.
All right. Yeah. All right. Yeah, a lot of good things are happening at Texas Southmost College. Now, before I conclude my presentation report, I do have one more item that I would like to share with the trustees, and that's the status of our college accreditation by SAC-COC, our accreditation by some of our health programs, as well as an update on our WTCE division. I want to start by talking to you about our SAC-COC. The importance of maintaining our SAC-CO accreditation is by maintaining it and keeping it, our credits transfers to any university within that area. That is what's important. Furthermore, by being accredited by SAC-COC, we could draw down money for our students that are on financial aid. Those are two of the primary importance of having a SAC-COC accreditation. Furthermore, I'm gonna ask Mr. Hernandez if he can step up to the podium, because there are some changes. By moving forward in offering our bachelor's programs, there are triggers and future site visits that will occur. At this point, I'll turn it over to Mr. Hernandez.
Thank you, Dr. Rodriguez. Madam Chair, members of the board. Yes, over the next 2 years, I would say, due to the movement to a level 2, which it'll make the institution basically available to offer baccalaureate degrees. Once we go through this substantive change, it automatically triggers a visit. We're hoping that this visit will be in spring of 2025. Just based on the timeline, it appears that it's going to be at the latest at spring 2025. This basically, it will be just like the visit that we had 4 years ago. It'll be very similar to that, where they will be looking at all of our services, everything that we have to offer, all the support that we have for these new programs. So 2025 will be the year when we will see SAC-COC on campus for sure.
So far, we're trying to keep as many documentations as we can and continue to move forward.
If I may add, Dr. Rodriguez, also we will be doing a 5th-year report. SAC-COC does require it every 5 years to either do a reaffirmation of accreditation or a 5th-year report, which is basically a short version of an accreditation, right? That one's also due in spring 2025. So we will be working hand in hand to do both, kind of do a 2-for-1 at that time.
Are there any questions for me or Mr. Hernandez regarding our SAC-COC accreditation?
You know, I remember I went to a workshop for the accreditation before we were, and was the late Dr.
Whelan?
Dr. Whelan was very specific. She says, you know, y'all are here, but you don't have to be here. You don't even have to participate, but you can't get any financial aid. And everybody goes, and that is the truth. This is how serious SAC-COC is, because we have to do our best. We need the financial aid.
And it shows the quality of education that we're providing by SAC-COC. All right. Well, thank you, Mr. Hernandez.
Thanks, sir.
The other item I'd like to discuss is accreditation of our health programs. I'll be, Madam Chair, you can help me take this out.
What do you want me to do?
If you can spread,
Pass it?
pass it around. What you see before you is a summary of the Texas Southmost College Division of Health Professions. These are the health profession programs that are accredited by a third party, that have an accredited agency that reviews, that comes and visits. For example, a respiratory care program earned reaccreditation from the accrediting body, the Commission on Accreditation for Respiratory Care. After reviewing our annual report, the evaluators found that the program has met or exceeded all the thresholds for success for the required outcomes measures. I do want to congratulate our program director, Ciro Ramirez, faculty member Alberto Vasquez, and Dean Pierce for their exceptional work in ensuring our students are well prepared to care for the respiratory patients in our community. Similarly, our CNA, or our Certified Nursing Assistant program, received reaccreditation from the Texas Health and Human Services Commission. Again, the program met all of the requirements for the nurses and training specified in the Texas Administrative Code. And again, congratulations to the program director, Maria Celia de la Garza, and faculty member, Ophelia Hess. So before you is a snapshot of the 7 health profession programs, their accrediting bodies, and our next site visits, as well as the program status, that at this point, we're all in good standings. Now I'll open it up to the board for any questions that you may have.
I have questions. I have a question.
So do I.
What was that?
In each of these areas of the healthcare professions has an accreditation, and we are in good standing according to the report that you're presenting, correct?
Correct.
And out of these 7 programs, which require that students pass their exams on the first try? If not, and I don't know how to phrase this, the program will be in jeopardy. And then take, for example, the police academy, take, for example, the nursing program, take, for example, which of these require a specific passing rate of students in order to keep this accreditation? Because we're in good standing, but we could mess it up tomorrow.
Right.
So tell us which ones.
All of them do require that the students pass. I think most of them on the first try, if I'm not mistaken.
Nursing is the main one.
Let's
Nursing, yeah.
let's talk to the expert.
Okay, go ahead.
Dr. Pierce.
Yeah, let's start by the first one. Radiologic technology. Tell me about that one.
Okay, in that program there, we don't have accreditation for that because when they started accreditation for that, we had already had so many years worth of passing rates, so we're not required to be accredited for that. However, we are working on accreditation for that, which is why we hired Ms. Duran to be in that program. And so we're seeking accreditation for that. Right now, they're grandfathered in because they've had close to 50 years worth of passing students.
So let me ask you this. If I were to get a certificate from this program, would I be able to work in a hospital?
Yes, sir.
Would they require any license or any certification?
Yes, and that's the issue. In order to sit for a certification examination, you must graduate from an accredited program. And so all of these are going to require you graduate from an accredited program. And that's why the difference is there is that in the radiology, we don't have to have the accreditation because we have the history. But when all of 7 programs, when they graduate, they take an accreditation exam, which they need in order to gain employment.
So I'm a radiology tech that graduated from TSC.
Mm-hmm.
Do I have to take an exam in order to be?
Yes, sir.
So it's an exam.
Yes, sir.
And how many people have to pass on that exam in order for us to keep this in good standing?
70%.
And do you have a record of the past 5 years?
100%.
Good. Let's start with the next one. Emergency medical services.
Emergency medical services requires that they pass within the first 3 attempts. They can then take a refresher and get 3 more attempts, but those 3 attempts don't count for our pass rates. As many of you know, we've had a number of issues with the EMS program in the past. We have a new program director, Mr. Alcala, and we're now at an 80% pass rate.
How many instructors in this?
In EMS?
Yes.
We have 1 full-time instructor who's also the program director, and 2 adjuncts, and 1 just resigned. So we now have 1 adjunct.
And what is the economic impact on the school for this program?
Economic impact.
What do you mean?
How much does it cost us to run this program?
Oh, well, we've got enough students. We have enough students that are coming in. We could take more if we had more faculty. We just don't have faculty who are applying yet.
I didn't understand. We have enough students to cover the cost in this program,
Yes, sir.
and then some,
Yes, sir. Yeah.
an 80% passage rate.
An 80% pass rate right now.
No red flags, no nothing in this.
Ma'am? It's a 2-year program. The EMS also has a 1-semester program, which is the EMT level program, and those are not based on accreditation. It's only the 2-year paramedic program, which counts for accreditation.
Dr. Peter, Mr. Herrera, let me interfere here. So, I mean, this is a report, but what it doesn't show is how many students are enrolled in each program, how many of those students have taken or at least have an attempt on taking those exams, what is the percentage of the ones that have and that have passed. It doesn't show none of that. So, I mean, this is great, but I think it's missing details here.
Sure.
Because it doesn't really clarify some of the questions that we've had in the
Sure.
past.
All of our programs currently with their accreditation agencies must post their retention rate, their graduation success rate, and their employment rate on our TSC website. So currently, all that information is available on the website right now. If you click under EMS,
No,
it'll show that.
We don't want to click, we want to report.
I know, sir. I was just mentioning that I have it.
That
It's there.
And that's great, but does it also tell you how many students are in each program?
Yeah, I don't have that listed here.
Okay.
Right.
Can you prepare a very detailed, extremely detailed report on all these programs with all the
course.
questions that Mr. De Leon and I have asked, so that we get a clear picture? This is a nice picture,
Okay.
but this is a rosy picture, and I like rosy pictures. But I want the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Of course.
With the return of investment, that's what you were asking right
Yeah.
now.
Okay.
And we've been asking for this for the past, I don't know, 6-8 months.
Yes.
So please, Mr.
Yes, sir. So just to add to the current report, is put the current enrollment, right? And the passing rate that you have on each of the programs.
Enrollment for the
And
past 5 years. I want a picture of each program, their performance, their pass rate, their failures.
Percentages,
And
how
hopefully.
many attempts, or how long is the program? All that detail is important, so we can actually have a full picture.
Can you please write all those questions down, and then we'll hand them over to them, and they'll answer the questions, and we can have that report?
I think,
Does that work?
I think you got a picture. What we want.
We can-
Yeah, but let Mr. De Leon do that. Would you do that, Mr. De Leon, please?
Okay.
Dr. Zabaleta, you had a question?
Yes, I have a question. Are all of these programs at enrollment capacity?
No.
So they're open seats?
There are still some open seats, and part of that is because we are more selective in our selection process now, and which has helped our pass rate. So
include
rather
that-
than just
please
filling.
include that information in the report.
Of course, of course. We have committees now which review the application processes, and we take the best to get into the program. We just don't fill up seats with people who have a potential for not passing the program.
Thank you.
And the other question, before we move on to the next programs, who is selling these programs? Who goes out and recruits students?
Who goes out and sells the programs?
Yeah, I mean, I have a product. In order for me to sell it to you, I have to give you the pitch, I need to bring you in, I need to make sure you understand what we're offering, and I want to know who is selling and how many people do we have, where do they go?
Okay, Mr. Herrera, so we have our college transition coaches who are like our recruiters. They're also placed at each of the high schools. that we partner with dual credit. They go to all the community events and they provide all these programs and the special requirements that are needed for these programs. We do let students know that just because they apply to Texas Southmost College and they declare into these programs doesn't mean they're automatically in. So from there, we advise them on the prerequisites that they need to complete. We advise them on all the exams. Some have ACT exams that they have to take, other HESI exams. So we go through the whole process with them. We work with marketing, which provide us information material to provide to our families and our students. So we have a total of 10 college transition coaches that go out to the community and recruit.
That are employed by TSC?
That are employed by TSC, yes, sir.
And we just added 2 more at ITech, specifically housed at ITech for people that walk in and show up ITech to address that recruitment.
You know, you can answer 10 calls, but the one you missed is the one we're going to hear about.
Oh, yes.
You mentioned that we were lacking faculty in what program?
What programs are lacking faculty?
Currently, we need one more in the respiratory program and probably 2 more in the EMS program.
Okay, so do we cut off or do we?
Yes, we are limited on capacity based upon faculty members.
So how do we determine who gets in and who doesn't?
Our first choice is we have to figure out how many full-time faculty we have, how many adjuncts we have, and that, by our accrediting agency, will tell us how many students we can take. And then, so we have a maximum number of students, and then we will review all the applicants from there. So such as like the EMS program, we could take up to 24 students in that class. We have 14 this semester, and that's based mostly upon their placement scores and their background to get into the program. So that's just one in particular.
So we have 10 open slots?
One more time?
We have 10 open slots in this?
Yes,
is
in
this
this
a cohort?
which is better than the 4 we had last year. Yes, sir.
Better or worse?
It's better that we have 14 now because we only had 4 last year.
I don't understand. We have how many students?
14 in our paramedic, plus we have another 10 students in our EMT basic program,
Okay.
which will go into the paramedic.
So how many open slots, how many students based on the faculty are not being, or did we not fill?
If we had another faculty member, we could offer another class, which would bring us up to the 24.
Let's use this program as an example. How does the associate in nursing degree look like?
What does it look like?
Yeah.
So currently we have, and I may ask Ms. Kasprisen to come up and speak on that. We have just increased our faculty by 5, 7, something. So now we're able to take in 3 cohorts.
Good evening, President Rodriguez, Madam Chair, Board of Trustees. We have, we're fully staffed with the ADN program. We have 7 full-time faculty, thanks to your help in bringing on new staff. We can admit up to 24 students. We can admit up to 24 students a cohort. This fall, we admitted only 20, and that was due to the applicant pool. It was not due to not having faculty. With the new faculty that we have admitted, our goal is to get up to 24. We have, don't quote me on the number, I think I just came to my desk today, 40 applicants for spring.
40 applicants for spring.
I don't know how they rate though, if they'll be qualified to enter for spring, but there are 40 applications on my desk right now, which is a huge increase.
Thank you. How about the medical laboratory technology program?
Which one?
Medical lab.
Medical laboratory technician has full classes. This is a program that they have to graduate from an accredited program, but they don't have to take a certification exam afterwards. So it's very optional. Those who choose to take the exam are running, I believe, 100%.
How many students in this program?
They have 24, 12 in the first year, 12 in the second year.
Faculty?
They have the program director and 1 full-time faculty.
Thank you. How about the LVN program?
The LVN program has the program director plus 2 full-time faculty, and they are running 12? 12 times 2 different cohorts that they have. And that, again, is based upon their limits for their accreditation.
And how many seats available based on the faculty that we have? We have 12. How many can we fit into a cohort?
They can have 12.
Only 12.
Right. They just hired this new faculty member, and they're going to put in a request to expand that number because they now have hired a 3rd person in there.
Ms. Guy, perhaps you have something to say? You're nodding.
Sorry. The LVN program, they can technically admit up to 20, but they have an open position that we are in the process of filling. So once that position is filled, I do believe their next application cycle, if they have the applicants. They did not have the number of applicants, qualified applicants that the ADN program has, so that also brought their numbers down.
How about the diagnostic medical sonography?
Diagnostic medical sonography, again, has 12 students per cohort, first year and second cohort, so they have 24. They have 1 full-time faculty member and 1 full-time clinical coordinator, and they're at 100% pass rate. And if you remember from a few board meetings ago, that what they do is they take their sonography exam, which is automatically included, and then they have the option of also taking 2 more certifications, which is the OBGYN and the abdominal. And the students who have taken that optionally, there's 100% pass rate on that also.
Can they graduate with a certificate and get a job at any of the hospitals, local hospitals?
Almost all my students have jobs before they graduate. They're offered during their clinicals, and they see how they're working, and they encourage the students to apply. Many of the hospitals come to our classrooms and recruit directly in the classroom. Sign the contract. When you graduate, you can start working Monday. They're really quick about getting the jobs.
Respiratory care.
On respiratory care, I do have Mr. Ramirez with me here also. They could take they need 1 more faculty member full-time, and they could go from their 14 students up to 20.
How many do we have?
Go ahead. How many do you currently have?
Thank you, Dean. Hello. We currently have enrolled 14 for this cohort, and we have currently 10 students from the second cohort going on right now. We had over 40 applicants for our program. Last season, we had around 48 applicants, which has been a phenomenon. We went out personally to go and do advertising, worth of marketing. Thank you, Mr. Morris back there, for a lot of the videos that he did for promotional items for our program. So according to COARC, which is our accrediting board, they want a max ratio of 6-to-1 for the students, because respiratory care science is one-on-one. If we can give one-on-one attention to our students, they can go out there and they can take care of your sister, your brother, your mother, and all of us who are going to need respiratory care sometime in the near future. So we do a one-on-one with 6-to-1 ratio for our faculty to student ratio at this time. So we accepted 14 at this time. We have a max of 20. If I can enroll more than 20, I have to have permission from COARC themselves that says I can take more than 20 people. But at this point in time, we have 3 adjuncts, 2 full-time employees, and I have 2 respiratory care science tutors. And so we're looking pretty good. Our pass rate right now is at 100% for the low cut for the therapist multiple choice exam.
I want to thank you. I want to congratulate you. And we're going to give. I want to thank you. I want to congratulate you.
Thank you.
All of you. We're going to give you a list of information that we need. We as a board need to decide whether we want to expand our programs because they're successful. Mm-hmm. Or maybe we start singing that Elton John song, Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me. And I'm being very serious, and I'm pretty sure the board is too. Mm-hmm. We want success. We want people like you
Thank you.
to go sell.
Thank you.
Whoever has a program and has a slot or 2 slots or 3 slots that did not fill, we need someone selling.
Yeah.
If we don't go out and sell, we will never get what we need. This is a selling game. I thank you for taking the extra step, and we will give the president a list of what we need from the health science professions, and we'll be back next month.
Thank you. Absolutely.
Thank you.
But I would like to have that information, Mr. President, in the by the end of the week. Would that be possible? Can we get it? We have all the information, no?
We can try to work that. Yeah.
Okay,
I got the questions here from everybody that was.
okay, thank you.
May I be excused?
Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, we want to know how much it costs to run a program.
Okay, okay,
Cost to operate a.
Monday? Okay,
What is our profit?
we'll give you the weekend. And and I'm concerned because we have asked this, and we've had these questions, but it's, you've done a good presentation, we're happy with it, but we want to see numbers. So, thank you.
Next programs, next batch.
Yeah, good.
Mr. President, thank you.
We'll continue collecting the information and work on the report for Monday.
Monday.
Yes, ma'am. Now, the other update I wanted to provide you is with the Criminal Justice Institute. We continue to work very steadily and moving forward with the program. It is worth mentioning that the last 3 cohorts that have graduated will be the summer of 22. The students that tested December of 22 and January of 23, and our latest cohort of cadets that graduated in July and tested of August of 23 this past month, all 3 consecutive cohorts have passed over 80%. So the trend continues to be good. We've hired 2 new full-time faculties.
And
We
they are?
revamped, yes, sir?
Who are the faculty, the new faculty?
Well, they're currently teaching right now is Dr. Kimball. Dr. Fuentes?
Thank you, Madam Chair, TSC Board of Trustees, and Dr. Rodriguez. The 2 faculty were the 2 faculty that you met last board meeting, Tom Kimbrell and Mr. Chris Adrigo.
Now, with the Criminal Justice Institute, we've done a rearranging of the curriculum, the modules, and the testing, so we've seen the positive results. We've been uploading more and more documentation and curriculum onto Canvas to make it more readily available, creating master courses. So the structure that's been taking place have resulted in good fruits of our labor.
This is the police academy, correct?
Correct, the Criminal Justice Police Academy.
And the last 3 testing
Cohorts,
cohorts, they're all tested above 80%.
correct.
And this is the complete number of students that we're supposed to test, right?
Correct. The students that
Because if you-
tested and passed on the first try, those that did not pass on the first try can test the second and third time and still be police officers. But
No,
TCO only offers.
Right now, I'm looking for TSC now.
Yeah,
I mean, right now, we're TSC. How many students or how many cohorts passed?
Mr. Herrera, can you please?
How many cohorts passed on the first exam out of the last 3?
all 3 of them.
All 3 of them. We don't expect anyone else to test and say, you know what, I failed it, and they bring down our scores.
No, TCO only takes the first attempt. That's what we report.
Everyone.
Yes, sir, not everyone, across the state. Now, a cadet who tests the first time and does not pass is allowed to test a second and third time. If they pass, they can still be hired as police officers. So as a community college, we're still doing our job of creating a workforce and employment for that cadet. But our accreditation by TCO is determined on the first attempt. In the last 3 cohorts, the 3 consecutive have passed over 80%.
This is after the measures were instituted to,
Yes, sir.
And they keep increasing. The rates keep increasing, with the last one being at 93%.
when's the next cohort?
It just started. They'll be testing in December, January. This coming December or January of next year.
It's a 6-month semester cohort?
It's 6 months.
6 months. Okay, and who chose this cohort?
Say that again?
Who chose?
It is between the
selected
new
this?
cadets, the new full-time faculty. We have the applicants that submit the applications, they're reviewed, and they are selected. Dr. Fuentes?
Yes, there's requirements. They have a psychological evaluation, a medical evaluation, TSI results, a college entry results as well, and criminal background check. So we have a matrix that goes through all of them. In addition to that, we have an agreement with Brownsville PD and Harlingen PD, and those are the pre-hires. Those are the students that they cleared, and we will train those.
Dr. Fuente or Dr. Rodriguez, we were given like a PowerPoint that would say, okay, these many students tested, these many students passed on the first attempt. Can you also provide that
Yes,
with this
I have
information, please?
Right here, and we can definitely do that. Yes, sir.
Are there any kinds of requirements of the graduates to take the accreditation exam, or can they all take it automatically?
No, sir. We have, throughout the whole program, they have to keep above a certain average. They cannot fail more than 3 modules. And when they reach the end, they have to take 4 exams. 4 exams of 50 questions each.
Those are our exams.
Our exams that we created in preparation for TEQL. Okay. Then they take the exam, and then they're allowed to
and still,
test.
some do not.
Yes, this last cohort, 1 student did not.
Okay.
Does it count
But
against?
we have a sort of fail-safe process where we test them and test them and test them.
Yes,
over
sir.
what they're supposed to know in order to pass the accreditation.
Yes, sir.
Very good. Very good.
Yes, sir.
We're good.
Thank you.
Mr. President?
Okay. Anything
you.
else for the criminal? Wonderful. Thank you.
Have we ever lost a bullet or a gun?
I'm sorry?
Have we ever lost a bullet or a gun?
No comments.
Next on the list is, Criminal Justice Institute, it is part of the Workforce Technology and Continuing Education Division, but we set them apart because that in the police academy, it's a job into itself. The next update that I would like to provide you is regarding WTCE programs, as well as our welding academy. So I do want to say that within the past 2 years, we've trained approximately 314 welders. Out of those, 277 have tested or sat for the AWS exam. Out of those...
No, we're writing down.
Oh, okay. All right. Over the past 2 years, approximately 314 students have gone through our program. 277 have sat for the AWS, which is optional. Again, it's not mandatory. 90 have passed. That's a 32% passing rate. Now, it's worth mentioning that AWS does not post the passing rates. However, consensus among professional welders and research that we've done, the passing rate ranges between 30 to 40%. Now, the AWS that we have as an accredited testing facility allows an opportunity for our community members to come and test here to get their certifications. They won't have to go to Corpus or San Antonio or somewhere else. Now, TSC students that were enrolled in our Welding 1021, which is the Welding Fundamentals, was 160-hour contact hours. And beginning this summer of 2023, our Welding 1000 Intro to Welding is 80 contact hours. So we're breaking it down into 2. 1, make it more affordable for our students. The price point now is at $950. And also the Intro to Flux Core is 80 contact hours, again, at $950. And they have an opportunity to complete the AWS D1.1 structural welding steel certification test. The only test in this we test is only in these courses because these courses have enough reasonable time that the students can learn the skill and pass the test. Now, the AWS D1.1 structural welding code welder qualification test plates consist of a groove weld with a 45-degree angle. The plates are prepared to a knife edge and a 1/4-inch backing strip is used.
Mr. President, I'm a visual person.
All right, visually, there's two
can't-
different types of tests.
I can't visualize what you're saying.
All right, let me see if I can rephrase it.
No. I want it in writing, I want a presentation, I want, how much did it cost us to train this 214 students? With the certification that they get, can they get a job?
Yes.
Do they need a certification? Do they need to pass the AWS?
Can we wait so he can get done and then
Let me,
write your question, sir, please?
So we've got, for example, we've got 2 classes. It's called Intro to Welding, 80 hours, contact hours, clock hours, at a cost of $950. We got the Flux Core, Intro to Flux Core, 80 contact hours, $950. $950. Now, once they complete these 2 courses or course, they can sit for the AWS cert. That is optional if they want to. It's not mandatory. When they complete the class with us, they get a certificate of completion, meaning that they've completed successfully our course. Now, some students opt to test on the AWS, which is an exam that is set by industry, says this can be a good WS certification. Now, if they pass, that's wonderful. General consensus by professional welders says that the range is 30 to 40. I feel comfortable that we're running a very good welding program. But how do I measure myself? I get an AWS certification. If our passing rate is at 32%, in a 2-year average, we're averaging 32%. We're within the national average. That indicates that our welding program is good. Do you need an AWS certificate to get a job? No, you don't.
Okay.
What we're presenting is an entry-level welding program. Entry level, not a master weld. It's an entry level to get into the industry, to get a job.
You okay?
Well, I mean, you asked me to wait. I'm waiting.
Okay.
No. Let me finish.
Okay.
So they can get an employment upon completing our program as an entry-level welding program. For example, some companies call them fitters as a welder, which means you can get a welding plate, put it up on the object, whether it be the ship, whether it be a building, and they call it tacking. You place it. That's all you do. You get a job doing that. Then a welder with more experience can come in and weld the plate. So this entry level is a transferable skill, whether you can work at the Port of Brownsville or you can work in Houston or West Texas. This is an entry-level transferable welding skill set that we're providing with our training. And you are employable with our training. Yes, sir.
Okay.
214 students. How much money have we invested in our welding program? How many faculty do we have? How many directors do we have? And what is the passage rate in this?
32%.
It's very simple.
Yeah, it's very simple. One of the things that we used to have, I don't have the exact cost of our welding program. What I have with you that I brought, Ms. Alderete, if you can help me pass this. For example, this is a snapshot of all our welding program, not of all of our program. Oh, that would be nice. Our welding programs with WTCE. When you look at this past academic years, there's a multitude of programs that we offer. And there's the list of duplicated students. Students may take 1 or 2 programs. We've got sponsorships, we've got cash payments, we've got federal and state. We look at our programs, and then
I'm not interested in
oh no, this is another one that's coming up. For you?
I don't want the 391. I want to know what the welding program does. How much did it cost us? And how much are we producing?
So I have the,
214?
no, the sheets that's coming around for you. Yeah, it's the same. You see that from September 1st of 2022 to August 31st of 2023,
In the same, we got the same.
oh,
No, but the second,
did you
No,
get
we
this
have that
one?
one.
has a second one.
No, we don't have the second one. No, we have that one.
Or
Yeah,
you have
need
this
that
one? Which one do you have?
Zabaleta needs this one. Here, I'll share it with you.
There's two documents. One, it indicates the profit and loss statement of WTCE. You see the revenue of 1.2. You see the expenses that encapsulates the cost of our instruction and consumables. And then you see the net profit. So this past year was approximately $391,000 as a net profit.
For all the programs.
Collectively, sir, yes.
Well,
If,
now let's break them down.
okay?
Now let's break all the programs down. I want how much money we spend in faculty, how much money we spend in materials, how much money we have invested in equipment. I want to know how much money has it cost us to train 214 students today?
Breakdown per program.
Breakdown per program. In the Academy of Lifelong Learning, how many professors do I have, and are they, is the program, not the professors are good, is the program meeting their expectations as to graduating students, to providing a profit or at least breaking even with the program or the expenses? Are we above water or are we underwater? And I mean, this is real nice, but this is diluted. I want each and every program here that says, you know what? This program is a good program because we're making money on it, because we're graduating students, because we're providing a service to the community and employers. And some, I hope that all of them are, but I want to know. And until we know, we don't know what we're looking at. I don't know what we're looking at, and I'm pretty sure the rest of the board doesn't either.
Dr. Rodriguez, on the accreditation exam that they take here, since when has it been in sight? Since when can they have taken it here and not go somewhere else to take it?
Was it 2021?
September of 2021 is when we began doing AWS testing.
In September of 21.
And
And prior to that,
There was no site here in Brownsville that could.
so would they have taken it, or they would have to travel somewhere?
They will have to travel somewhere else to do that.
Okay, so for 21, 20.
Is that
before?
person employed by the college?
Give me one
He's a
second.
contractor.
He's a contractor.
Now, I do want to clarify, we do not give the certificate. It's kind of like the SAT in high school, right?
Yes, yes.
The high school can host the test. That's what we're doing. As a testing facility, a credit testing facility, we can host the test. That's all we do. It is the individual that comes in and provides the training, not us. I do want to make that point.
Can you give us a breakdown on the cost
$80 per exam.
per exam?
Correct.
So I'm just going to put
And that is included within the tuition.
So these students that take this level entry exam, if I was one of those students and I want to be more marketable, would we recommend that they take the AWS?
Very much so. We encourage them to take it.
But they have to pay for the cost.
It's already included within the tuition. And some of them still, for reasons, don't want to take it.
Don't want it.
So how many, what's the staff did you have at the welding program?
All right. What was the question?
What was your question, Mr.
What was the
Herrera?
question?
How many staff do you have? How many persons providing the instruction in the welding program?
We have 3 full-time welders and, 5 full-time welders and 3 part-timers, but they also teach in other areas as well.
So prior to this year, we were doing a lot of adjunct.
Of what?
Adjunct instructors, part-time instructors, right? Part of it is to identify faculty, trying to grow the program. At this point, we made the decision to hire full-time faculty that are cross-trained in multiple disciplines, not just welding. That allows stability for the program coordinator to be offering different courses at different times, because our welders are full-time. They can teach in the evening, they can teach on the weekend, they can teach during the day, and we eliminate a heartache of trying to find an adjunct that can teach within the need.
How long has the welding program been in existence? When did we buy those fancy machines that we have?
Operational,
Yeah.
3 years?
So in 19, we offered a welding, but using another facility.
No.
And then
At iTech.
At iTech since September 2021. There was only one,
Yeah, they were operational.
I'm looking for it. I know I had it here. One cohort that, when we first had our welding, that we did not offer AWS certification. But after that first group, we've been offering AWS certification since September 2021.
Mr. Herrera?
I want to see how many, are we getting our money's worth?
I believe so, sir. And now with the funding model that changed from the state appropriations, the funding is going to be different. So now we're going to get state appropriations as well as tuition revenue.
Well,
and the way the welding program is set up to be successful on the revenue. It has the installations to do it, but we'll definitely get you the numbers, and we'll continue to market and increase our enrollments.
You know, we are a very fortunate institution that has been here for 96 years, and we're a good college. It's really not about the money. I'm using the money right now to make sure that the programs are working as they should. It's really not about the money. Money is one part, a very important part, but the most important part, Mr. President, is how many students are we putting out into the community to work, and are they prepared to work? And 214, I apologize, is not a big number.
No, 314.
314?
In 2 years.
It's still not a big number for the amount of money we invested. How, why? I don't know. It doesn't sound right. I think that we should be training people left and right. We should have people selling our services left and right. I mean, if someone thinks they're coming to the port, we should have 1 or 2 people there trying to get their business. And I think that's what we need to focus on.
And I think you're right. I think we need to focus on bringing people in. But that, we can fix that.
Yes.
We can fix that. And I think if this has been a good meeting, we need to regroup and a good call. But we need to regroup and what programs need to be paid attention to.
Yes.
And what, if we need to increase an employee or two, Mr. President, we have to do that because we have to be successful as a community college, not only because of our college name, but because what Mr. Herrera says, we need to be putting people out to work.
The right thing.
It's not about the money. I want to know about the money, but I want to know why we have 314 with all that expense and monies that we've invested. And you keep asking for more. We need to put a roof here. We need to do this. And we say yes, yes, yes. Not very easily,
I might
add. But we do.
And Dr. Fuentes, I want to thank you for taking the lead there. And I think you're doing an amazing job because this presentation has been really, really good. I pray for you every night.
Thank you. I really do appreciate that.
Now, to
I
address
appreciate
your
support.
point, Mr. Herrera, as well, you know that with the departure of some executive administration at WTCE, it did provide us an opportunity to reassess how we're conducting the operations. In the past 6 months, we reassessed and I've restructured WTCE. Dr. Fuentes is one of those restructuring moves that I have conducted. and our new VP of Workforce as well as External Relations comes on board on Monday
Where
of
is
next
he?
week.
He's not-
His official day is on Monday of next week. So with
Missed
the new
it.
team.
He's
with the-
resting.
He missed it.
I think with the restructuring and reassessing how we're doing operations, we're going to be in a much better place this time next year.
So we're going to give you a cost, service, benefit analysis for you to do for us on,
For one thing, it would help us to know the actual enrollment, current enrollment in each of these programs, and then the capacity. So that we have an idea of what we could do in terms of growth.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
who is selling is the big question.
Here are the questions.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mr. President?
Thank you.
Anything else?
Well, we'll be back to be continued next
Oh,
board meeting.
absolutely. You know, we've got the report on the health professions. I'll try to work for you by Monday, and we'll do another deep dive on the WTCE, and I'll like that presentation.
Whatever you do on the health professions, the same questions apply to the WTC.
Yes, I added.
Same thing.
This report take a little bit longer, so I can have that report ready for you by the next board meeting.
Yeah?
Okay.
I'm a secretary.
Thank you.
I took notes to share with you.
Okay. Okay. So we continue with our agenda.
Unless there's any other questions
Any
or
other
comments?
questions? Everybody's satisfied with the presentation and stuff? Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for all the presenters. I appreciate it. The board needed this. We all needed this. So we're going to go with item number, where are we?
Six.
Minutes.
The minutes, right?
Oh,
Minutes, yes.
Number 5. Consideration and possible action on the minutes of the following meetings. The public hearing and regular meeting of August 17, 2023. I'll
I
take a
so
motion.
move.
Motion by Ms. Aldrete, second by Mr. De Leon. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Finance Committee.
Nothing. I'm like,
Mr.
Finance
Herrera,
Committee met on Monday, September 11th.
can you please talk into the
2023?
microphone? Mr. Herrera, can you please talk into the microphone? Can you
Yes,
move
ma'am.
it forward to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
Finance Committee met on Monday, September 11th, 2023. Present were Secretary Alderete, myself, and members of the TSC Administration Council and College Legal Counsel. The committee discussed the following items. 6A, consideration possible action on agreement with the City of Brownsville, multimodal transportation to provide transportation services to Texas College, Southmost College students to and from college campus, as well as all routes in the Brownsville Metro service area. I would ask Dr. Figueroa to give us a very brief presentation on this.
Thank you, Mr. Herrera. Madam Chair, members of the board, President Rodriguez. Before you have for your consideration and possible action, the agreement with the City of Brownsville Metro. This is an agreement that the college has been having since 2019 to provide free bus services to our students, as well as adding that route that connects our main campus with the iTech Center. The cost of this agreement for the months of October to August will be $41,250. Again, this includes that additional route to connect the campus to the iTech, as well as all of the other routes in the Brownsville Metro.
Thank you so much.
I have a question. Oh, not yet, sorry.
You do?
No,
Take your
go ahead, Mr. Herrera.
Okay. Any questions?
No, you have to.
We need a
make
motion and a
motion
second, and
first.
then we do questions.
I
Thank
need a
you.
motion.
Make the motion.
I will do the motion. I propose that we approve the agreement between, the MOU between Texas Southmost College and the City of Brownsville Transportation in the amount of $41,250 and authorize President Rodriguez to execute the agreement.
I second that.
Second your motion.
I have a motion by Mr. Herrera, second by Ms. Aldrete. Discussion.
Yes.
I have a question.
Te ganó, Mr. De Leon.
No, ma'am, go ahead.
Yes, sir.
No, go ahead.
Okay, thank you.
Because you were my teacher.
Wasn't the bus service already going to ITech?
Not before this agreement, ma'am. There was no route that passed through ITech, and there was some students that requested that, and that's why we began the negotiations with them to add a route that cover that connection between our campus and the ITech.
Will that route go directly from here, TSC, to ITech, or will it go through the city?
So the route that crosses here through the college goes to the ITech, and then it goes through the city. All of the routes start at the bus station or at any of the bus stops, and we do have a stop here and a stop at the ITech.
Okay, thank you.
Figure out numbers. Tell
Yes,
me
sir.
numbers. I mean, I have.
We requested those numbers.
I mean, there's zero. How many students are taking advantage of this?
So the number of students that take advantage of the bus service varies by month. I have the ridership report from last fiscal year, 23, September of 22 to now. In September, last year, September of 22, there was 1,501 students. October, there was 1,593. November, there was 1,201. December, it's a short month, so it's 711. January, it's 1,013. February, 1,353. March, 1,532. April, 1,603. May, 979. June, 888. July, 996. We have not received the numbers for August, so those are still pending.
And so these students are aware that they can actually use it all day, right?
Yes.
Or, yes.
And I'm sure that's why the number is high, because it's probably the same student
Using them.
using it. There's not,
They can use it
they're
on the
rides, not students, right?
You can use it anywhere in Brown.
And, no, but on the weekends too?
Yes. I do know personally about two different students. One that uses to come to school and to work in the bus. Another one uses to come to school. I don't know all the students, but I just happen to know two that utilize the service.
So this is still a good thing to do for our students.
Thank you, Dr.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries.
Next item is 6B, monthly financial statement report for the month ended in July 31st, 2023. I'll call on the one, the only, Mr. Carlos Pesero.
Thank you for that introduction, Mr. Very much.
No, I forgot the drum roll. Next time.
Madam Chair, members of the board, President Rodriguez, we have for you the monthly financial statements. As we typically present, 3 fund types with both revenue and expenditures presented. Along the left-hand side of the report, we have a description of the activity. And then I'll be mostly concentrating my presentation on this July column that is here for the actuals in that month. So without further ado, start with revenue in the education and general fund. 1.6 million for the month of July. On the following slide is where the expenditures begin. We have subtotals for both salaries and wages and benefits. And those can be found here, 1.6 million and 421,000. The M&O category is on the following slide, and that goes through 3 slides. Second here and third, where it concludes for the month of July, 966,000. The next categories are travel and general institutional. We have 14,000 and 105,000 respectively in that month. And last slide for general fund, we have a total for the month of July, 3.8 million, and that is revenue and expenditures for the education and general fund. Second of the 3, auxiliary fund, we have a subtotal for revenue, almost 99,000 for the month of July. Following slide, we have subtotals for salaries and wages, 128,000, and benefits of 34,000. The next slide is where the M&O category begins, and it just goes through the next slide and concludes at the bottom, 62,000. And then final slide for auxiliary fund, total expenditures, 228,000. So that's revenue and expenditures for the auxiliary fund. Last of the three fund types. We have a slide with a subtotal for revenue, about 78,000 for the month of July, and no expenditures in the month of July for this fund type. In July is when our debt service payments will show up. August. Apologies. This is July. I was getting all excited. Is when we'll present expenditures in that fund type, and we'll see those there. On the next slide, we have our detail for the insurance activity for both general fund, 1.8 million, and auxiliary fund, 144,000. The next slide is our fund balance recap. There's been no change since the last time that we presented this to the board. Our estimated fund balance number is 27 million. And then the last section of this report is where our debt service tables are. There are no changes to these tables that were presented before as well, Madam Chair. With that, I can conclude this report. If there's any questions, I'd like to try and answer them.
Thank you so much. This item requires no action. It's for information only. Next item is Institutional CARES Act expenditure report. I'll call on.
Fund balance.
Fund balance operation, wasn't that the last one you gave? No, no.
No.
6C, fund balance operation report. I'll call on Dr. Figueroa.
Thank you, Mr. Herrera. Madam Chair, members of the board, President Rodriguez, Mr. Pesaro did make reference to the fund balance, but this report just recaps what he just said on the fund balance, but divided by the amount of estimated expenses daily as of fiscal year 22, which is the division, and it tells us how many days we had for fiscal year 23. So again, this is the numbers as of audited financial statements of August of 22. We're currently undergoing our audit, so this report will change once we have those finished by the end of the year.
Was it 27 or 30?
I'm sorry?
Was it 27 or 30?
So 30 is the unrestricted net position as of 8/31/22. The 27 that you saw in the other report includes, because in October last year, we presented the rollover balances, and that is what makes the 27,000 as an estimated. Once this year is closed, the books, we will have, again, this report for you updated.
Thank you so much. Any questions? This item is for information only, no action is required. Item 6D, Institutional CARES Expenditure Report. This is for you, Dr. Zavaleta.
Thank you, Mr. Herrera. Madam Chair, members of the board, President Rodriguez, before you, you have the the expenditures for last month, 28,845. As you know, this is winding down because we finished this grant. We're just closing on it, and you have a detail of what that $28,000 it's made of, each of the vendors and what we purchased with those funds.
For this money, if we, hypothetically, if we wouldn't use it, would you be allowed to ask for an extension?
We were allowed to ask for an extension if we had funds available, but we did not have, we had already finished spending ours by July. Okay. So there was nothing, we could have had asked an extension if we had money, but we didn't have any money to ask an extension for.
They were threatened with bodily injury, time out in the corner.
Thank you.
Any questions other than Mr. That's good. Thank you, Dr. Figueroa. Next item is 6E, grants update. I'll call on Dr. Figueroa.
Thank you, Mr. Herrera. Madam Chair, members of the board, President Rodriguez, before you have the grants awarded during the month of August of for last month. We had Community Corporation for National and Community Services, AmeriCorps, a grant for $489,600. Texas Workforce Commission on the Skills for Small Business, $633,000. That is a new award. The Coordinating Board, the Nursing and Allied Nursing Innovation Grant, $125,285, as well as an extension on the Building Trades Commission till October 31. The original award was $300,000.
Any questions? No. This item is for information only. That concludes my report, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Facilities, number 7, Facilities Committee, Ms. Aldrete?
Yes, the Facilities Committee met on Monday, September 11th. President were Trustee Zabaleta, President Rodriguez, myself, members of the TSC administration, and College Legal Counsel. The committee discussed the following item: facilities update. I call on Dr. Figueroa.
Thank you, Ms. Aldrete. Madam Chair, members of the board, President Rodriguez, before you have our facilities updates, we only have 2 projects, the courtroom and criminal justice program and the second floor Oliveta restrooms. The Oliveta restrooms are officially finished. When we provided this report, when we had to submit it for this board meeting, they were not. So we just put that they're still work in progress, but as of now, they're already. Oh, I'm sorry, I started with the wrong one. Criminal justice courtroom, that is still in progress. Here you have a view of the outside and the progress that has been completed inside. And this project is complete, which is the restrooms. Now there's open, the wall that was dividing or preventing anyone from going into that space has been removed. Our students are already utilizing that space. So we pass inspection and they're ready.
I've only waited 6 years.
Okay, this item is for information only. No action is required, and this concludes my report.
Thank you, Ms. Aldrete. Go number 8, Academic Committee, Dr. Zabaleta.
Academic Committee? All right. Number 8, A, consideration and possible action on approval of memorandum of understanding between Texas Southmost College and the Criminal Justice Academy Basic Police Officer Certification Program and the City of Brownsville, Texas Police Department.
Madam Chair, TSC Board of Trustees, and Dr. Rodriguez, today I bring in front of you for your consideration an MOU. It's an updated MOU that the Criminal Justice Institute has with Brownsville PD. The MOU exchanges their training, because we would like training from their police officers for training of their pre-hire cadets.
Any questions? I move it be approved.
Second that. I have a motion by Dr. Zabaleta, second by Mr. Herrera. Any discussion? Go ahead.
In the information that we were given, it says that the students are paying fees. Can you just tell me how much are the students paying in fees to the Brownsville Police Department and to the Harlingen?
I just put that some fees may apply. If we do have any fees, they would have to pay that. But right now, they do not pay any fees.
Okay.
It just may apply because only the TSC Board of Trustees can make that decision.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
The motion was to approve the memorandum of understanding between Texas Southmost College for Criminal Justice Basic Academy Peace Officer Certification Program and the City of Brownsville, Texas Police Department, and authorize Dr. Rodriguez to execute the contract.
Have you already had a motion and a second?
I do. I'm not going to vote now, but he didn't read the motion.
Oh.
Okay. I wanted it to be on the record. I have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries.
Item B, consideration and possible action on approval of memorandum of understanding between Texas Southmost College and the Criminal Justice Academy Basic Peace Officer Certification Program and the City of Harlingen, Texas Police Department. I so move.
Second. Motion by Dr. Zabaleta, second by Ms. Alejandro. Any discussion? Frank, do we need to read the motion?
Dr. Zabaleta made his motion, so you're fine.
We're fine, okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries.
Item C, consideration and possible action on approval of a letter of agreement between Texas Southmost College and the Brownsville Independent School District Adult Continuing Education Program. I so move its approval.
I have a motion by Dr. Zabaleta, second by Mr. De Leon. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries.
Item D, consideration and possible action on approval of memorandum of understanding between Texas Southmost College and the Brownsville Independent School District Career and Technical Education Program. I so move its approval.
Second.
I have a motion by Dr. Zabaleta, second by Ms. Aldrete. Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries.
Item E, consideration and possible action on approval of a memorandum of understanding between Texas Southmost College and Texas A&M University, Kingsville. I so move its approval.
Okay. Second that. I have a motion by Dr. Zabaleta, second by Mr. Herrera. Do we have Dr. McCormick for a reason up there? Oh, for discussion? Any discussion, questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries.
Finally, item F, consideration and possible action on approval of an agreement, affiliation agreement renewal between Texas Southmost College and South Texas Emergency Care Foundation, Inc. I so move its approval.
Motion by Dr. Zabaleta, second by Mr. Herrera. Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. You were on a roll.
That's it for me.
Thank you, sir.
You can do more.
That was good, fast and furious.
I have all this pent-up energy.
I know what you're talking
Gotta
about.
Get it out somehow.
Okay, item number 9, Student Services, Ms. Science.
The Student Service Committee met on Monday, September 11th, 2023. Present were Trustee Alejandro, members of the TSC administration, and college legal counsel. The committee discussed the following items. 9A, consideration and possible action on approval of the memorandum of understanding between Texas Southmost College and Idea Public Schools. I call on Ms. Vanessa Vasquez.
Thank you, Ms. Science, Madam Chair, members of the board, Dr. President Jesus Roberto Rodriguez. I'm here to present this item. It's a memorandum of understanding between Idea Public Schools in which they have a department called an alumni where they're retaining their graduates that are coming to Texas Southmost College. They have to meet 85% of retaining their graduates here at Texas Southmost College and achieve an 85% completion rate that they could get an associate degree. So they would like to be on our campus, help their students. If some of their students cannot pay for college at Texas Southmost College, they have funds that they can provide to them. That their goal is that they get a degree. Right now, we have 145 students from IDEA, 63 new students this fall, and the rest have been continuing and progressing through their degree. And so somebody will be on our campus sporadically, not every day, but to help these students. And we will share data with them to let them know if they're failing. Of course, as per the MOU, it does state that we will get permission from the students first before we release any information. The MOU has been reviewed and approved by our TSC legal team and Board of Trustee legal counsel as well. Do you all have any questions?
Well, I need a motion.
Okay, I move to approve the memorandum of understanding between TSC and Idea Public Schools and authorize President Rodriguez to sign the agreement.
Second the motion.
Motion by Ms. Sainz, second by Mr. Herrera. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries.
Item 9B, consideration and possible action on approval of the interlocal agreement between TSC and Region 1 Education Service Center. I call on Ms. Vanessa Vasquez to present.
Thank you, Ms. Science. Madam Chair, members of the board, President Rodriguez, I present to you a memorandum or an interlocal agreement between Texas Southmost College and Region 1 Education Service Center. This is, TSC will provide services and activities for 9 different programs at the Region 1 ESC Office of College Career, Life Readiness, College Now Career Connected, Gear Up College Ready, Career Set, Gear Up Pathways to the Future, Center for Excellence in College and Career Readiness, Career and Technical Education Program, Educational Opportunity Center Operation, College Bound Investing in Innovation. TSC programs and activities may include, but are not limited to, campus tours, TSI workshops, summer camps, and some school day camps. Currently, we are serving some of our partnering districts, such as La Feria, Los Fresnos, Port Isabel, that have Gear Up, but also we have San Isidro, San Perlita, Donna, and so this is a great initiative for our students to come and experience what TSC has to offer, not only them, but their families as well. So it's an awareness. There is TSC will offer an in-kind support of facilities and time and effort, and will cover the cost. The Region 1 will cover the cost of consumables. So, for example, we can offer creating a robotics class for these students. Region 1 will provide all the supplies for us. We don't have to purchase anything out of our budget. They will provide that, and we provide our time and effort for our students. This agreement has been reviewed by our TSC legal team as well as our Board of Trustees legal counsel. Do you all have any questions?
Motion?
I move to approve the interlocal agreement between TSC and Region 1 and also authorize President Rodriguez to sign the agreement.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Sainz, second by Mr. De Leon. Any questions? No? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Vanessa.
This concludes my report.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries.
This concludes my report.
Thank you, ma'am. Policy Committee, sir.
The best for last. The Policy Committee meeting met Monday, September 11, 2023. Present were Chair Ms. Garza, immediate Chair Mr. Herrera, President Rodriguez, myself, members of the TSC Administration, College Board, Legal Counsel. The committee discussed the following items. 10A, consideration and possible action on the following local policies, CT, FFE, and GD. I'll ask Mr. Perez to.
Yes, you have before you 3 proposed local policies, CT local, FFE local, and GD local. The first is CT local, involves intellectual property. It's revised and rewritten. It's not changed much at all. In fact, none at all. It basically tries to clarify when TSC's intellectual property may be used and by whom. It defines that when students own intellectual property that they may create themselves, and when employees may own or may not own intellectual property when they create it. And that's going to depend on if they create it using TSC property and equipment on TSC's time, or if they do it on their own using their own time and their own equipment. And of course, it'll fall where it might fall. The policy clarifies that when copyrighted materials might be used, and that basically goes to when your instructors, professors, and faculty show movies or show films or use copyrighted materials authored by others outside the community, outside of the TSC, they can use those as long as they're used for instructional purposes. And that's the free use doctrine, and that's okay for us to do. So that's the CT local. It just basically clarifies a few things, does not rewrite it. FFE local deals with freedom from bullying, and it revises the policy, and it basically tries to make consistent the wording of FEE, dealing with bullying, with FFDA, which deals with harassment and sexual violence, and consistent also with FFDB, which is freedom from discrimination, dealing with other protected classes of persons or other characteristics of discrimination. And then we have GD local, community expression and use of college facilities. That was rewritten and revised in order to take into consideration the Charro Days festivities that are now being held outside the normal or historically normal time period that Charro Days is recognized. And that language is contained in GDE local. It also makes provision to include federal agencies' use of nonprofit, federal agencies' use of TSC facilities. And those are all found in your.
I have a question on, you have federal on page 5 and federal on page 5 of 8? 5 of 8 in blue.
Yes, 5 of 8.
Can you explain the federal?
The federal government, the United States government,
In
that would be like a federal organization such as.
Explain the whole paragraph.
Fees shall not be charged when college district buildings are used for public meetings sponsored by federal, state, or local governmental
So
agencies.
you're adding federal.
That's correct.
It was already there, correct?
I'm sorry?
State was already
State
in the
and,
policy.
yes,
We're just
state
adding
and local
federal.
governmental agencies was already there.
Perfect.
Motion?
I so move to approve the revisions to the following local policy CT, intellectual properties, FFE, student welfare, freedom from bullying, and GD, community expression and use of college facilities.
I second.
Just 'cause-
Motion by Mr. De Leon, second by Ms. Science. Any questions?
A comment. Because that's what appears to iron out this 3 items.
That is true. I was here. And they went back and forth and back and forth. I'm happy to see that you all came to an agreement. Thank you.
It's the, we come back to the words have meanings, especially in legal stuff.
No. All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries.
This concludes my report. This concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. De Leon.
Chair, I'd like to ask our attorneys a question, if I may.
Go ahead.
Does the state of Texas law allow the carrying of a handgun or other firearm on campus?
No, not.
It does not?
TSC policy prohibits it in all of Texas law. We do not.
We do not. But we prohibit.
We do not. Does everybody hear that?
Right.
We prohibit, unless you're a certified police officer, which we have on
Exactly.
campus.
So that if a student or an employee or a board member is carrying a weapon on campus, that's a violation.
That would be bad.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. The board will now convene in executive session as provided by, excuse me?
Carrying a gun on campus.
Excuse me? The board will now convene in executive session as provided by Government Code, Chapter 551.07, 551.072, and 551.074. We're back from executive session. We talked a lot, didn't fix anything. We don't have any motions. All we're going to talk about is our next board meeting, which will be Thursday, October the 26th at 5:30. And is everybody okay with that?
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Herrera?
I will do whatever is required.
Okay.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Halloween costume.
I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I so move.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. De Leon, second by Ms. Alejandro.
No, I need him.
You would?
I need him to the.
I have a motion by Mr. De Leon and Mr. Herrera, second by Ms. Alejandro. All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries.
Good night.
Stand adjourned.